In my earlier video, I said Timothée Chalamet has zero range. Same static eyes, same vocal fry.
I am Paul Muad'Dib Atreides, Duke of Arrakis!
Same soft boy in progressively more expensive costumes. If you haven't seen that breakdown yet, link's in the description. It's the foundation for everything we're about to expose here. And thousands of you flooded the comments defending him. You're still confusing looking expensive with acting deeply. But while you were busy defending the Golden Boy, something happened. Jacob Elordi didn't just enter the conversation, he blew it up. First with Frankenstein, then with Wuthering Heights, and now? There's no pretending you didn't notice. I already know half of you are typing, but Timothée is a generational talent in the comments right now. Cool. Let's see if you still feel that way in 10 minutes. Let's talk about the ugly test. In the world of elite acting, this is the ultimate filter. It's what happens when you strip away the soft focus lighting and the designer wardrobe to see if there's actually a character underneath, or just a star who's afraid of looking bad on Instagram. It's simple. Are you willing to sacrifice your face for the craft? In 2025, Timothée Chalamet finally tried to take the test with Marty Supreme. The PR machine went into overdrive. They told us he was unrecognizable. They bragged about his transformation into a nerdy 1950s table tennis hustler. But here's the reality. 5 prosthetic pieces, 1 hour in the makeup chair. That's it. He looks like a guy who just needs a better skincare routine and a new barber. It's Indie-Cosplay, the acting equivalent of a billionaire wearing a thrifted hoodie to feel relatable. He's playing struggle face while making sure his bone structure stays the hero of every shot. Now look at Jacob Elordi in Frankenstein. While Chalamet was suffering through an hour of light contouring, Elordi was spending 11 hours every single day getting 42 individual prosthetic pieces glued to his body. He didn't just put on a costume, he buried his brand under an anatomical nightmare. His 6'5" frame, the thing that makes him a heartthrob, turned into a hulking, sensitive mistake. He sacrificed the one thing that makes him a star, his face, to find the soul of a monster. This isn't a rivalry between two talented actors. This is an autopsy. One of them is disappearing into roles. The other is the most profitable illusion in modern cinema. Artisanal oat milk latte acting that's safe, curated, and optimized for a Vogue cover. And the question isn't coming from critics. Watch them side by side and ask yourself, which one is disappearing into characters, and which one is just modeling with dialogue? But the real difference isn't just what they're willing to wear, it's the roles they're willing to choose. One of them chose safety, and the other chose chaos. Here's the thing about range. It's not just what you're doing now. It's whether you've ever been willing to leave your comfort zone. And if you look at their early careers, the pattern was already set. Timothée Chalamet broke through with Call Me By Your Name in 2017. Vulnerable teenager, soft-spoken intensity, melancholic longing. It was a beautiful performance, wrapped in Italian sunlight and Sufjan Stevens. But then something happened. He never left. Beautiful Boy? Sad, soft boy with a drug problem. Same furrowed brow, same trembling voice. Little Women? Sad, soft boy pining in a Victorian parlor. It's the soft boy prison I talked about in my last video. Whether he's a rich kid in Massachusetts, a cannibal in the Midwest, or a medieval monarch, the internal instrument stays identical. Quiet, brooding, beautifully tragic. He isn't taking risks. He's playing the same note in different keys. And notice the pattern in the archetypes. Paul Atreides, the desert messiah. King Henry V, the warrior hero. Wonka, the whimsical savior. Bob Dylan, the cultural revolutionary. Even when he plays flawed characters, they're tragic heroes, poetic victims the world was too cruel for. He's trapped in the chosen one industrial complex. Safe, prestigious, sympathetic. It's the acting equivalent of only playing video games on easy mode while telling everyone you're a pro gamer. One actor found the safest possible roles and never deviated. The other did the exact opposite. Jacob Elordi started in the exact same prison. The Kissing Booth trilogy made him the tall, handsome boyfriend stereotype. But then came Euphoria. And instead of playing another charming love interest, he chose Nate Jacobs, a violent, abusive, closeted sociopath who made audiences genuinely uncomfortable. In Priscilla, he played Elvis not as a rock and roll god, but as a manipulative, controlling presence. Saltburn leaned into aristocratic cruelty. Then came Frankenstein, where he chose to play the creature, the literal monster over the hero. And then Wuthering Heights, Heathcliff, one of literature's most toxic, vengeful anti-heroes. By the time Fennell's cameras started rolling, Elordi had already built a career on being dangerous. Chalamet, meanwhile, was still auditioning to be everyone's favorite tragic prince. One actor built a career on being loved. The other built his on being dangerously unpredictable. One of them learned to transform. The other just learned to pose in front of the camera, looking sad. And the proof isn't in their resumes, it's in their eyes. If the voice is the transmission of an actor, the eyes are the engine. It's the internal machinery made visible. And this is where the Chalamet illusion officially breaks down. Look at Timothée in Dune. Now, look at him in Call Me By Your Name. Notice anything? The eyes never actually shift gears. It's a look of permanent, introspective boredom. What I call prestige staring. Beautiful, wide, and perpetually vacant. He isn't changing his internal state. He's a high fashion model who knows exactly which angle makes him look the most vulnerable for a TikTok edit. His eyes have the refresh rate of a frozen Zoom call. It's the same Botticelli stare whether he's in Italy, on Arrakis, or in a 1950s ping pong hall. Here's the Giamatti test applied to 2025. If Paul Giamatti spent 7 years training for ping pong scenes, learning the precise wrist flicks and footwork of a 1950s hustler, would we call it transformative? Or would we say, "That's nice, Paul. You learned a skill. Now show me the character." But because it's wrapped in cheekbones that look CAD designed by Italian sculptors, we're supposed to call it genius. Now, contrast that with Jacob Elordi. Even behind 42 pieces of silicone and surgical stitches, Elordi's eyes are doing the work that Chalamet's entire PR team can't fake. This is what we call active anxiety. Guillermo del Toro didn't cast Elordi for Frankenstein because of his jawline. He cast him for what del Toro called the expressiveness of his wrists and his ability to convey vulnerability through physicality. Del Toro saw something beneath the heartthrob surface, an actor willing to access genuine discomfort. And the preparation? While Chalamet was practicing ping pong serves in Abu Dhabi, Elordi was studying the movements of his golden retriever.
I see the whole world in my dog's eyes, you know. So everything that she does physically is to sort of get what she needs or to show how she feels. So she's very sort of creature-like in the way that she operates in the world.
To find what he called the real innocence of a creature who doesn't understand why the world is cruel to him. He incorporated the charged stillness of Japanese Buto dance to create a physicality that felt resurrected, not performed. For Priscilla, 500 grams of bacon every single day. Not to imitate Elvis, to become his size, his weight, his physical presence. The body had to be true before the performance could be. And if you think that's extreme, wait until you hear what Emerald Fennell made him do on the set of Wuthering Heights. This is the anti-Chalamet methodology. Chalamet isn't transforming into characters, he's just accessorizing. Different wigs, different historical periods, same wiry frame, and same delicate movements. Elordi went the opposite direction. Masochistic, uncomfortable, willing to look grotesque. And the industry noticed. When the Critics' Choice Awards came around, they chose transformation over reputation. Best Supporting Actor for Frankenstein.
Jacob Elordi.
Critics called him the best thing in the film, capable of conveying emotion through layers of rubber in a way that felt entirely singular. Reddit threads erupted. Elordi took risks. Chalamet took PR courses. It wasn't just validation, it was proof. Proof that the zero-range critique was never about being harsh. It was about being honest. Because while Chalamet was busy protecting his brand, Elordi was willing to let his co-star's hair catch fire. If Frankenstein was Elordi proving he could disappear, Wuthering Heights is him proving he's willing to lose his mind doing it. Emerald Fennell didn't just direct an adaptation of Bronte's novel. She engineered a psychological experiment. She needed actors willing to go somewhere most people aren't comfortable going, even in their own heads. She cast Jacob Elordi as Heathcliff, and when critics questioned the choice, Fennell's defense was disarmingly simple. He looked exactly like the illustration of Heathcliff in the first copy of the book I ever read. Not, he's the best actor. Not, he embodies the text. He looked like a drawing. And then she built an entire production around making that drawing bleed. Now here's what matters. Wuthering Heights received mixed reviews. Critics were divided on Fennell's maximalist vision. But here's what was universal: Jacob Elordi's performance. Even reviewers who didn't love the film singled out his work as exceptional, calling the chemistry incandescent and intoxicating. That's the difference between reputation and range. When the transformation is real, it transcends the project itself. This is what happens when you prioritize the role over the brand. Now let's perform an autopsy on what obsessive preparation looks like when it's disconnected from actual transformation. Timothée Chalamet began training for Marty Supreme in 2018, 7 years before the film's release. He kept a ping pong table in every city during the production of Wonka, Dune, and The French Dispatch. London, Abu Dhabi, Budapest. There's a story Josh Safdie tells about visiting Chalamet's apartment 4 years before production to gauge his progress. They played a match. Safdie got so competitive, he sprained his ankle and limped for months. This is the narrative Chalamet sells: authorship, reclaiming agency, leaving it all on the field. And the industry ate it up. Because preparation this extreme photographs well. It makes for great press tour anecdotes. But here's the question nobody wants to ask. Acting isn't karaoke. Learning to do the thing your character does isn't the same as becoming someone else. When Austin Butler prepared to play Elvis, he didn't just learn to move like him. He spent 3 years rewiring his entire psychological operating system until he forgot what his original voice sounded like. That's transformation. What Chalamet did, that's skill acquisition. It's the same thing he did with Bob Dylan. High-end SNL karaoke. A high schooler wearing his dad's suit, hoping no one notices it doesn't fit. And it shows. Critics noted that Marty Supreme refuses to punish its protagonist for his narcissism. Marty Mauser abandons his pregnant partner to chase a championship, manipulates everyone around him, and the film treats it like charming roguishness. Why? Because actually making the character unlikable would risk the Chalamet brand. And the Chalamet brand just made $90 million. The softboy prison never closed. Even playing a selfish hustler, he can't escape his own likability. And in December, while promoting the film, Chalamet called his recent work really top of the line and, quote,
some top-level shit.
That's not confidence. That's an actor who's believed his own marketing so completely that he's mistaken preparation for transformation. 7 years of training, record-breaking revenue, and somehow, it's still just Timothée Chalamet in a vintage wig, playing ping pong. And now the industry has to make a choice. Because in 2026, these two paths are about to collide at the Oscars. The 2026 awards aren't just about who takes home a statue. They're a referendum on what Hollywood values more: preordained greatness or the kind of transformation that makes you uncomfortable. In the Best Actor race, Timothée Chalamet is the frontrunner for Marty Supreme, the Golden Goose, the predicted winner, the actor whose nomination was written into the trades before the film even premiered. But the field is crowded, and the politics are brutal. Leonardo DiCaprio is campaigning hard for one battle after another. And the Academy loves a veteran narrative. There's also the two young men bias. Some voters are reportedly reluctant to award another 20-something in the same cycle, which means Chalamet and Elordi might be cannibalizing each other's votes. Then there's the director race complicating everything. Ryan Coogler's Sinners versus Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another. If the Academy finally decides to give a black filmmaker Best Director, and they should, it could create a sweep effect that benefits Michael B. Jordan over Chalamet. The politics aren't about performance quality, they're about narrative momentum. And right now, Chalamet's narrative is starting to crack. Because Jacob Elordi just won Best Supporting Actor at the Critics' Choice Awards for Frankenstein. And that win wasn't predicted. Oscar prophesiers called it an inspired choice, the kind of surprise that signals the industry is starting to value transformation over reputation. The Oscar race subreddit erupted. Users called Elordi the best thing in the film, capable of conveying emotion through layers of rubber in a way that felt entirely singular. The discourse shifted. Suddenly, people were asking, why have we been grading Chalamet on a curve for so long? The real stakes here aren't about trophies. They're about what the industry is willing to reward. The Lisan al-Gaib of branding, the messiah for a risk-averse studio system that values box office over craft, versus the actor who chose grotesque over gorgeous. One of them trained for 7 years. The other one disappeared for 11 hours a day. The Academy has to decide if it's rewarding the craft or just the reputation. And for the first time in Chalamet's career, the answer isn't obvious anymore. In my last video, I said Timothée Chalamet has zero range. Same softboy frequency across 8 years of cinema. Jacob Elordi just proved me right. Not by being better, by showing you what actual transformation looks like when it's standing right next to the illusion. Once you see someone willing to study their dog's movements, learn Buto dance.
I studied Buto in Toronto, the dance of reanimating a corpse, isolating different parts of your body.
And let their face become unrecognizable, you can't unsee what Chalamet's been doing this entire time. Curating, accessorizing, protecting the brand. The Chalamet illusion isn't broken, it's exposed. And exposure is permanent. Marty Supreme made $90 million. He's already nominated for an Oscar. The Golden Goose is still golden. But now we know what we're watching. Reputation first, range optional. A movie star who's so good at being the most interesting version of himself that we forgot to notice he's never tried to be anyone else. Elordi took the opposite path, destroyed his pretty boy image, became a monster, in pursuit of a performance that couldn't exist without risk. One actor learned to play ping pong for 7 years. The other became something that doesn't exist. The question was never, who's the better actor? The question was, which one is actually acting? The one who's willing to disappear. The other one? He's just extremely good at being Timothée Chalamet. And now you know the answer, because you can't unsee the static eye once you've seen active anxiety. The illusion only works until someone shows you the trick. If you're done being sold products disguised as performances, hit subscribe. This channel breaks down the illusions Hollywood is selling you. And if you want the full autopsy, the original Zero Range video is linked here. We go film by film, dissecting the static eye, the vocal fry crutch, the soft boy prison. Share this with anyone still defending the illusion. Let's see if they make it to the end. Welcome to the other side.